It's about that time. Oh
Hey,
man. Woo! We have made it to the finale, the full season. This is hashtag randomly with Ronnie Jr., a Real Housewives of Miami recap. Along with myself, I'm randomly Ronnie Jr. We've got Russell X Raymond, the star of his new YouTube channel.
yes, sir. I'm so excited about this reunion. 3 parts of
Mm-hmm.
fulfilled drama, suspense, reconnections, rehashing. If anyone knows how to
Mm-hmm.
do a reunion, like it's Andy Cohen for
the,
sure.
the whole production did it right. The only note that I would have is like really having the set design as Nicole, the engagement party. That to me was a little lackluster, but I mean that wasn't even that specific. No one even knew. Wasn't a big deal. But I would not have went that direction. No.
I was about it.
You liked it. Okay,
I'm
we're
Team
gonna
Nicole
have
all the way.
your team Nicole all the way.
Team Nicole.
Okay, well, there's gonna be some conversations and some disagreements. No.
Look, and
Um,
it's been solidified because of the reunion.
Okay, well that will be interesting. So here's the general concept is we first of all I feel very accomplished because it's not easy to do a recap week by week by week. And
It's
from the
not.
beginning of this, over a couple of months of doing the show, we started recapping Real Housewives of New Jersey over on Russell's channel. So it's an accomplishment to get to this stage. I was wondering what you were drinking. I was like, are you drinking a Marisol
It
Kaki
was like
already?
pop, 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 pop. Well, fresh from Hawaii.
Oh, okay. He's a jet setter. Um, so anyways, I'm just gonna say like some nice stuff real quick. I'm just very accomplished that we did the whole season. It was a fantastic season. Now, where somebody could say we dropped the ball, or me, because I was the one who was like, Russell, I don't think we need to cover the reunion. Like, we could do a whole end of season thing, but
Mhm.
usually reunions are insanely uneventful. They're always stretching it out. And I will say, by the third one, it was a little much. I don't think we needed a third reunion. I think we could have put that into two. But with that being said, the two were very, very, very good. Tons of new information.
Yes.
Um, BTS moments with Alexia. Like it was a show in itself.
Yeah.
So I actually was incorrect on that one, and we should have covered it like we did the season. Yeah.
You know what? It's okay though because we're covering the reunion as a whole, which to me makes sense. When it comes to the episodes, those are individual days, right? But the reunion is shot in one day. So the fact that we're going to shoot it in one episode, that's okay with me because they shoot the reunion at one time. So why should you and I shoot 3 individual reunion recaps? I could see if we did Instagram live of us watching it and we responded naturally to each one of the reunions, 1, 2, and 3 parts. But as a whole, I think you made the right move. I think it's fine. We're still covering it. We didn't miss it. So we're still here. It's still fresh. I mean, you come to the right place if you want to talk recaps because we are the number one, as they say in OnlyFans, the top 0.05%.
Who decided this? Are you like calculating this on? I mean, I love the compliment, but I mean, where did it come from?
I have my own way of doing math, and it's not about how you tell the. It's not about how you tell the truth. It's how you. It's how you explain it and how you calculate it in your favor.
That's true. We are the leading recap show by 2 hosts with the name R. We are certainly winning the category.
Absolutely.
So
Winning the
category
is.
I will tell you before we go, I want to get your overall thoughts on the season, and then we'll get right into the moments, the best moments that stuck out in terms of the reunion. Before we do, we'll do a little bit of a backstory because again, what is exciting to me is that you could go back and look and see an assemblage of coverage that we did. That's one thing that we made real fun in my opinion. So if you go to the channel, we have an episode that says who deserves a mojito. So this is between Marisol, Kiki, and Adriana, and that's a fun episode right there on the YouTube channel, along with an episode about all of the what would you call them, the originals. But these
OGs.
originals outside of Leah have not really necessarily came back, which by the way, a lot of those originals are really compelling people. Like I
They
think
are.
Anna is so good for TV. I don't even know if this suits Leah. And I know you loved Joanna Krupa during her day, and I don't think
Yes.
Christy's bad either. Did I leave anyone
No,
out?
no, no. I think
Oh,
they're.
Karen. I love Karen.
I think How can I spin this? Because look, you have to pay respect to the original Housewives of Miami because it was on hiatus for so long.
Not
I feel like
according to
they should.
Gertie.
I
You know,
I
she talk real. It's a reboot for a reason. She has to let everybody know, and it's like Gertie, just worry about being compelling, and we're gonna get there, sweetie. We're gonna get there.
but in a sense though, and well, I don't hate to do this, but it's the fact of the matter is,
Mm.
the Latino community gets looked over all the time.
Oh, in terms of when it was canceled, yeah, that's almost a
In terms of
tangent.
just
That
any
yeah,
representation, every representation on television, and luckily we're going through this boom right now, like we did
hmm
in the early 2000s.
yeah,
We're going through this boom right now of Carol G, Bad Bunny, Rosalia, and they're all winning People's Choice Awards. They're winning
hmm
Grammys. You know, they're big moments right now, even though Bad Bunny's on timeout because of Kendall Jenner. But we won't talk about that. But the fact that that helped probably propel this back into place because it is so compelling. We are entertaining. We are like, there are comedians out there who talk about the way that Hispanics respond, and were to respond if we had a Mexican or Hispanic president in the White House, that we would start throwing a party 2 weeks in advance and it would go all the way up into the inauguration. So we do bring a lot of spirit and good vibes. So I'm so glad that this is back. I feel like all the originals should make a cameo at least
would
in this
love to
next
see
season
that.
coming up,
hmm
just because they paved the way for the rest of the Real Housewives of Miami.
We will talk more about it being just the vibe of Miami, some of what Russell's talking about, the concept of it being a melting pot, which that was something that Gertie did very positively on the show. Is she really assessed that and made sure that that was celebrated, which I think is a very Miami thing, and I did like it. Real quick, going off what I was saying, other episodes you could check out that we've already done, which is we have a complicated, so hard to say when you say the word divorce. But we had a complicated conversation about Lisa Hochstein's divorce and just all the things that come along with it. One thing that I think was quite amazing, and you're going to know real quick, Team Larsa is how I roll. We of course have an episode that says Larsa Pippen is reality TV gold, and you know what? We may talk more about that later in this episode. And we also have one that's fun too, Adriana and her BBL. We kind of explored that. But I guess honestly, Russell, before we talk about that, we're going to talk about your contribution to the BBL conversation. I think you made a comment. Wait, do we still have it? We may not still have it. Oh, yes.
Oh Lord.
As we get started to talk about the reunion, we're going to talk about all the best moments. Mama Elsa was brought up. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
Alexia was definitely present, whether you like her or not. We'll talk about all those in a moment. Going back to our assemblage of content that we created by recapping this show and having such a good time, would you ever think that the booty would show up? Well, you know what? When you recap Real Housewives of Miami, the booty may show up. Take a look at this clip. What else do we have? We have everyone getting ready for this big get together. Well, that was the get together. So that was like the fun side, or the nice.
Adriana's butt.
Oh, tell me about Adriana's butt. Yes, we saw Adriana's butt. Boom, there it is.
You know what? Here's the thing. Look, I'm so tired of everybody getting fake butts. Just stop. Just stop. I mean, I get it. If you're like this, I get it. I get it. You want a little hey, little whoa. Come on.
Well, I plan on getting the hey and the whoa. Hello, doctor.
You need a little hey, little whoa.
Yeah, because I'm like this. I need the hey and the whoa.
Look. I've worked. Let me just show you. I've worked very
hard.
Oh
no, this one.
Hold on. I've worked very hard for what
Look at
I
that
have going
dookie
on here. Okay, thank you.
Not a live demonstration.
And it is possible. If I can do it, you can do it too.
Listen, when you check out our shows, whether it's youtube.com/randomlyRJ Jr. or youtube.com @RussellXRaymond, we try to have a really good time, and we hope that you enjoy the concept of our recaps and our after shows. As for me, I come from radio and a couple television appearances too for 20 years. I mean, it's it's been a while. And so I hope that you enjoy what we're doing. I always say, though, if you are on the Peacock streaming platform and you want a little more Russell, which you just saw the booty, you may not see the booty on this show, but you'll see wholesome television. It's a TV show called Create the Escape. and it's fantastic. And it happens to be on the Peacock streaming platform. It's like escape rooms. It's a very competitive, like parent and kid, fun type of show. And it's very much the antithesis of what we really kind of see on like a Real Housewives of Miami, which is, on 100. So congrats on that experience, man. How does
Thank
it
you.
feel recapping? Because we're now finishing the season here, recapping this season of Real Housewives of Miami, season 5, and being also part of the Peacock streaming family.
You know what? NBC Universal is such a blessing in my life. Really, they they treat their talent so well. They went above and beyond when it came to filming our show. I had great executive producers. Mama Sue, which I call her Mama Sue, but her name is Sue Side. She's Emmy Award winner. And then we have Elaine Kavanaugh, and she's doing a lot of amazing shows. Her wife also does the Sherry Shepherd show, one of the executive producers. So I've been I mean, and like Shay Holland put me on, and Shay didn't even know me when the casting came out. We met because we were filming HGTV, and my mom and I were doing DIY on our house. So it was just all the stars aligning, and really just someone taking a chance on me. And the fact that NBC Universal really believed in me and Peacock TV, and it was just, it's such a blessing. Like, I can't even describe the gratitude. There was many days where I found myself just beside myself because I did the math on it. And at the time, just someone who looked like me as a lead host on a television show, like I was really just looking at Mario Lopez, right? Because he's on Entertainment Tonight. And now I was stepping into those shoes. So it's just really, it's a gratifying experience. And I really love the inclusivity with Peacock TV and NBC Universal. And they're really paving the way for, culture and inclusion, and the next generation of television hosts and radio hosts. And they're up there. They're really putting the effort and doing their due diligence when it comes to people like me. And so I'm just so grateful, and I can't wait for Dr. Nicole to bring me on the Real Housewives of Miami.
Would you, if Dr. Nicole got on the phone, ring, and said she wanted to include you, you would find a compelling conversation with Dr. Nicole, Russell? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, absolutely. Dr. Nicole is like the epitome of, I want to say Mexcellence, but she's not Mexican. So, she is the epitome of brains, beauty, quick wit. Like, she really has something going for her. And she really, as we've seen with the relationship with her dad, she really fought against the odds, and struggling with those relationships, getting herself through college. I mean, come on. Like, if anyone at the Real Housewives of Miami has anything to offer and put on the table, it's Dr. Nicole, because she comes with it. Like, you can't take nothing from her, even if you took away the show. She's still going to progress
That's
in
the
life.
thing. Nobody's trying to take anything away from her. That is
Everybody's
her.
trying to take everything away from her.
No one
Jr.
cares about her. No one even knows she's
Everybody
exists.
cares about Nicole.
Nobody cares about. Nobody knows she exists. That's the issue. We'll get into the meat and the potatoes, because and it's not even a her versus Larsa. It's just, I like Larsa. A, that's like one part of my brain, and then B, also Dr. Nicole is just. I'm just saying, could you hold a conversation with her? Would she be a fun hang? The chances are no. Now, she does have a lot to contribute and will always uplift. And why you laugh? What's the laughing?
You said the chances are no.
Well, did you see the way she was doing press recently? Oh, good. Oh, goodness.
Maybe I did. Maybe
okay, so this one, okay, can I just, we'll go off of this one, and then we'll just let it go, and then we'll just keep coming back to all the moments. Okay. And this is no knock. Like, again, I did favor some of the excitement she was bringing at the beginning of the season. But I feel like she kind of got into a little bit of in her own mind. Yeah, she got into her mind a little bit, because she's very much, still orchestrating, how she wants to be perceived, which is fine. But, a person like me, I could only rock with you if you're real or not, authentic or not. And that's not taking away that she is a doctor. That is fantastic. I love the Cuban excellence that she does bring to the table. I love seeing her mother. I love seeing the struggles with her father. I really identified, not as a related situation, but I identified with where she was willing to go with the father in terms of him saying, I couldn't have you around because in the therapy session because I wasn't the best, or not even the best. I was far from the best. And it told me one thing. That is where, in some way, shape, or form, Dr. Nicole's fire had been born, because she started off with, not the greatest deck of cards in that situation. So excellence was always something for her. So I could like her for that. So just so we're clear, love Dr. Anthony. Oh my God. Honey, love me some Dr. Anthony. He's not Dr. Anthony, but I call him Dr. Anthony.
Daddy Anthony.
Yeah, I call him that too. Actually, we have a clip, because again, this is going to be a lot of best ofs, in terms of our Real Housewives of Miami season 5 recap, reunion, and more. I call it an extravaganza. Just so we're clear, because I'll play this clip, then you could see that I am very nuanced with my opinions, where it's not like, he's a hater, he likes Larsa. It's just like, no, you could like things about somebody, but then clock them for other stuff that's just ridiculous. Let me play the clip that's affirming and positive, and then I'm going to tell you a press moment that I thought she was the most corny that I've seen in Housewives in a long time. And maybe not in a long... Let me run the clip, right? I should run the clip. Russell's like, dang, Ronnie is ready to roll today.
Look, I'm about to come for Larsa, so I'm just sitting back and I'm letting you give your opinion.
Microphone
on Dr.
will
Nicole,
be muted, bitch. Okay.
Larsa's about to take a seat.
I feel like all the drama that is happening with like Vanderpump and SWV Escape, like I feel like it's building like this excitement. Anyway, let's run this clip to show you that I do rock out for Dr. Nicole and Dr. Anthony, and then we'll talk. Come on, Anthony.
Get it in with Anthony. I'm gonna get it in. You're gonna get it in right here.
Let's go on a flight together, Anthony. Let's go.
Mile High Club, here you come.
So I mean, I do want your opinion too, but my thoughts are like,
if you had to choose between Larsa and a relationship with Anthony Lopez for the rest of your life, which one would you choose?
Wait, but what do I get out of Larsa?
Just the friendship?
like friendship?
Yeah.
I would say Anthony, only because I feel like Larsa already likes me a lot. I've heard word that she likes our show.
Let the viewers see that this is the one time where you've abandoned Larsa.
No. I didn't abandon. I said she already likes
leaving
me.
Larsa for the D.
Wouldn't be the first. Oh boy, what a messy show. No,
you see this, America? You see this, and everybody else in all the other 138 countries of the world. Ronnie has officially left Larsa for Anthony Lopez.
I think he's a liar. You're lying right now. You're telling people lies.
That's a lie. Ding, 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 ding. Lie. Ding, 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 ding. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Oh, he's turning red. He's turning red. Well, how else are you feeling about this, Ronnie? Let's see what we can really get out of you here.
No, I would enjoy a night or two with Dr. Anthony, whatever his name is. Whatever his name is. Okay, so let's just get down to it though. Okay. For real. Let's get down to it for real. Before I start talking quickly and slick, salute to our, Russell's queen, Dr. Nicole, the anesthesiologist, and she's just, I guess, compelling. Yay! Congrats! Yay!
You guess a baby. When I
no. The mute microphone will be taking place.
I will be on Instagram Live at Russell X Raymond. You can hear all my thoughts.
Well, we got to go to the comments here. So we've got Corey Polk saying, "What about her recent interviews?" Okay, so this is referring to this is just one of the things that's so funny and corny to me. I won't even get into once we get to the reunion, we'll talk about the reunion. And she did okay in the reunion. I'm not gonna knock. So Russell, tell me how you see this. So she was interviewing with Entertainment Tonight. It's like she's just not cool. Anyway, she's interviewing with Entertainment Tonight and she's struggling. She's trying so hard to be unbothered. It's like the goal. And he goes, Bryce is the Entertainment Tonight reporter, goes, "Oh, so Marisol and Alexia were on Watch What Happens Live, and they were asked, of the newbies, what do you think of them?" And everyone's name was brought up, and your name was left out. So Alexia and Marisol left your name out, right? Take that in. And her answer was, and she giggled and like she was beside herself with like being that corny. She says, well, I guess I'm just living rent free in their head. Rent free in their head. They didn't even bring up your name. Nobody likes you. Like rent free in your. This is insanity to me. Rent free, and they didn't even bring you up. Like. And then
Just
she went on to
because you
say,
don't bring someone up though doesn't mean you're not bothered by them.
they don't care about her.
Yes,
She's
they
like,
do. They are bothered by her.
says who? Says you? Says
They're
you?
bothered by her because she's younger. And
Who
she
cares?
actually,
But that's the
she actually
calculation.
built a career based off of herself. She didn't build her career based off of anybody else's.
But that's a projection within you. That's a project.
No.
Like, but the metric that you're assessing
It showed
is
on the reunion though.
How did it show on the reunion?
Because they each had to interject in anything that she had to say because she couldn't get a
She
word
didn't
in
say anything. She
edgewise.
was invisible.
No,
she
but
was
every time she
invisible.
was asked a
Do you know?
question,
Do
they
you know
had
what
to
I?
jump in
Two things
because
that were
they
funny.
just can't let her speak because they're bothered by her.
Because
if you're not bothered by somebody, you wouldn't care what they had to say.
No. Disagree.
Care what they had
Disagree.
to say, the fact
Disagree.
that you're interacting
No.
issue.
Mm-mm. Say that again because that doesn't even make no sense. You're saying
if you're not bothered by someone when they're saying things, you would dismiss it and you would wait for Andy to look at you and be like, "What are your thoughts about this?" Like, I don't have any thoughts about it.
They don't care.
Trying to shut them down because they bother you so much. You try to shut people down when they intimidate you.
Okay, so let's go off your philosophy. What would make Alexia and Marisol, and I guess Larsa in this case, what would make them be bothered by her? Like if she, again, as I said, let's put up the photo so we could say she's got a good, like, yay, good for you, yay. That is good for her. That don't have no burden on my life and how I rock. Like if I get around somebody who does their thing and they're amazing, good for them. Don't let the door hit you at the on the way out, kind of a thing. If I don't like you. Now, if I like you, it's a different story. But if I don't like you, I don't care about you that much. So it just, anyways, can we acknowledge, Russell? And you're real smart, so I know you get what I'm saying. Can we acknowledge that the corniness in that interview to like not even have a quick comeback or whatever, or say something, but it was, I live rent free. And she said it like 2 or 3 times, rent free. It was all about this rent free, a pretty unoriginal thought at that. And I was like, they didn't even bring you up. Like they don't care about you. Like you aren't really registering, but in her mind, she is.
So to be fair, I can acknowledge what you're saying, but to be fair, when you've never done press, the way that these people, and the Housewives is a huge franchise. So when the press comes, they come. This is just as big as any pop star, really any pop star at this point. Like if you're talking, like are they on Kardashian level? No. But does the paparazzi want them? Yes, because Bravo celebrities are huge. So if you don't know how to handle press and you haven't been on both sides or you never dealt with it before, it's very hard to navigate a way to have that. It's hard for them to navigate. It's hard for you to navigate as an individual to rally for yourself without having them spin it a certain way, which celebrities who've been in the game and who already know both sides of the press actually know how to make a small comment that can't get twisted out of hand versus you're really trying, like, again, you're trying to find your place on this show, but at the same time, you're also trying to navigate through press. So it's like, it's one of those things where you learn with time. It's being in the press is rough. When I worked for TMZ, that was, oh my gosh, that I wouldn't, trust me. I've been on that side of the camera, so I know how to handle this side of the camera when things are brought up that are either uncomfortable, irrelevant, someone trying to put bait in front of me and dangle it. I know how to handle those things now, but if I did not work at TMZ, I tell you right now, I would not know how to handle it.
You make really good points. And that is really a truthful thing. This is her second run at it. I think one of the things that makes her different than some of these other housewives, and even if we were to critique them, because again, me saying, oof, Nicole, that's how you're rocking it. That's just more me judging how she's rocking it. That's not saying, oh, I'm team this one or team that one. It's a personal, like, when she made that comment, I was like, this can't be the one that everyone's standing. Like, that would be crazy. Like that, like I could never stand somebody who's that cheesy.
But also you have to remember, she's trying to. Reporters don't always use the whole story because they're trying to get a soundbite from you, and they already pre-written their story. They've already pre-written their stories prior to interviewing you, and if something compelling is said, they're going to add that in. So if this is your normal narrative of, I constantly go places with them and they're constantly coming after me and they're constantly attacking me and whatever, that is the angle that you're going to stay with no matter what question is asked to you, even if it's relevant or irrelevant. And like I said, she doesn't know how to navigate that yet because she's not a veteran when it comes to press. She's still new. So do they come after her? They absolutely come after her, and it shows, and it showed all over the reunion. Now, was that question in regards to them coming after her? No. But again, she's trying to pitch what is normally happening to her, which was irrelevant to the situation. Again, you only learn that when you become a veteran with press and when you've done it so much that things like that just roll off the tongue and roll off the back. And when you can actually dismiss the person who's asking you the questions.
Can I tell you that I think one of the issues, and I would even, if I were to critique, because it's funny you said the word attacked, and I don't feel like anyone attacked her, but we'll leave it there. But what I will say, I think that what's intriguing is, I feel like, it's hard to do a show when you've been on the show for a long time, and that doesn't necessarily make you better than anyone, but you've put stuff out there, you've put yourself out there, you've had your words be mixed, and you just sort of had to go with the flow. Someone like Larsa, I don't think she necessarily does this intentionally, but her thought is, let's keep it funky, because for so many years, it's 9,000 lies have been said about me.
Mm-hmm.
And while, like, I totally relate to that, like, I get how Larsa would be like, sort of mad that other people are like, trying to like fit into this little box. Like you kind of said, you were saying like Nicole is trying to arc this little thing and it's kind of working within the narrative she created. And I would say that I would feel a little bit like it's just a weird teammate, because it shows like a team, that's your cast member. It's very odd that some of these cast members have had so much ridicule in their personal lives, and then the others have got to keep it really prim and proper, and within that they get to kind of make it as if like they're we're thriving and we're this. I don't care if you're thriving, that's fantastic. It's just a matter of being authentic and being real, and it does feel like that would be something. I'm not putting words in Larsa's mouth or Alexia or Marisol, but I'm telling you from like the years of doing radio or whatnot, like anytime I got to go and I got to keep it funky, I know that I might not gel with somebody, whether it's their first day or not, who just gets to tell a cutesy story and it's so far from the truth. I'm not saying Nicole's far from her truth. I'm just saying there might be a little bit more there. But I'll do my due diligence because I'm a great guy. And I will continue to try to find, if she's asked back. I don't know if Dr. Nicole would be asked back. She really didn't create much this season, quite boring. But if she's asked back, I will try my best to like re-enjoy her and like really kind of find out what makes her compelling and exciting. And I just think she was a little in her head this season. Takes nothing away from her skill set. I think she, as an anesthesiologist, is fantastic. I think she is gorgeous. I love Dr. Anthony. Their little son is so cute. I hope their wedding is fantastic. But I'll do a little bit better going into next season. Did you want what are you feeling?
I'm drawing the parallels between Dr. Nicole and what you're saying to what Bree on when we covered the Real Housewives of New Jersey had to say about Melissa, because
when Bree? Who's Bree?
Bree Cheyenne. I had when you were on your bye week.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Okay, this is for Russell's
So when
YouTube channel. Yes, the
yes,
co-host. Yes.
so when she was saying that Melissa doesn't have a storyline without Teresa,
Mhm.
and we rock for Melissa.
We do. We love
Nicole is the
Melissa.
same, right? Because that's what it sounds like where we're going with this conversation of Nicole wouldn't have a storyline if it wasn't for, or she's irrelevant, right? How would Melissa would technically be considered irrelevant as well without Teresa?
Not really, because every time that I've talked about Melissa for years, 10 toes down, I've always said it. I didn't care what anybody said. I didn't care if there's the percentages. I'm one, there's 99% of the people who are on Team Teresa, and I'm the only one who's on the other side. I don't care what anyone thinks. That doesn't suit me. I would always go 10 toes down saying that Melissa is exciting. She's intriguing. She's compelling. She's fun. Nicole does not give those elements. Do you see the difference?
I think Nicole is fun. But I think that she's been iced out.
What would that have to do? What would that have to do with in her personal scenes showing?
But when
fun?
you're iced out, then you kind of get stuck in this character of I have to be now I have to console Adriana.
That's her choice. That's her choice. I got to tell you, and
not necessarily when people don't rock with you and they don't play with you. And I'm kind of the same way. If you don't rock with me, cool, kick rocks. But when you get iced out, and especially and Dolores just said this in an interview, they have to interact with each other. They can't really bring in outsiders. So there might be very well opportunity for her to have fun in her own personal life, but they don't have access to the camera, so they can't highlight those things. And again, she has to be in this corner with these women who might not be as fun and compelling.
But by the calculations, there's 4 of them. There is Nicole, Gertie, Adriana, and Julia. You notice the difference? You don't see the other side. Wah, the victim. Like this side, you kind of explained a second ago that Nicole's iced out. Yes, she's rocking with this group. That this group supposedly is the iced out group. How could you be the iced out group and there's more of you? And another thing is, one thing I think Dr. Nicole's mad about is I don't even think she wants to be with this group. She had buyer's remorse at Adriana's music video for Faya. When she was at that music video, like no one really wanted to be at the table. These girls are not really loving being around each other. I think they're just out of necessity, maybe to the point you were making a second ago. Like the other girls, they rock and we don't really fit in with them. But which one is it? Like you have the 4 people that are on your side. Go have fun. Go have a ball. Like, why do you care so much about Alexia, Larsa, and Marisol? Like, I will never understand it. I'll never understand it. And again, I'm not like super like this is not the biggest deal in the world.
But the newbies also have to challenge the veterans. That would be like, I'm trying to draw parallels within Housewives and like relevant ones, but like Teresa's always going to hold weight. If Caroline comes back on the show, she's going to hold weight. If they bring you and I on the show, if Teresa and Caroline don't like us right off the bat, not saying that you and I are fun and we don't bring any outside drama to the show like Adriana does or like Julia does. Not that Julia brings drama. She brings humble country girl, not much to offer. Model.
I mean,
there's models out there that are very simple and they do make a lot of money, but they don't like the hecticness and craziness of a life. And so if you and I got stuck with my next door neighbor, who's a mom of 2, she's a teacher. You don't see her partying in the streets. And then our scenes are constantly with her. And if you and I get crazy, the storyline is like, no, you have to include her. And it's like, well, she's not fun. So I have to not be fun. But like Teresa and Caroline are out like doing their thing. Let's say like season 2, season 3, when they were all friends, they're doing their things. And you and I keep trying to like join them. And they're like, no, we don't like you. Like you have nothing to offer. You're unintelligent. And we're like, peace out. Cause I don't want to use the other finger. Read between the lines.
I totally understand what you're saying. You're saying there's like the dance to keeping your gig, I guess, on the show. You go too polarizingly, like, kick rocks, then where do you stand? But the reason I can't have too much sympathy with that, as well as my career has went and then not, I've always stood on the principle of, if I ain't rocking with you, I ain't rocking with you. Like there's like I come from a union family, okay? So I don't really play the, well, if I tuck my tail, I'll at least, hoist up my career. No, never gonna do it. Never have done it. Um, I'm a badass regardless. That doesn't favor well with the business. So I will say that I acknowledge what you're saying 1000%, that maybe Nicole or Gertie, they're forced to sort of be in that boat. They're like, they would rather be like Kick Rocks and be more compelling as we're trying to get them to be. But you're saying they're still navigating a little bit of a dance. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I will keep it nice here because I was actually very intrigued and almost shown the door, because it takes a lot for me to be not feeling Nicole, but that's my truth. That's what it is. If I was an influential person, all the the girls, are loving Dr. Nicole. Like people that I'm like as far as I go on Instagram and I'm like, and it's all the baddies. Like everyone who I think is dope as fuck, they all can't stand Larsa, and they love the sham that is Dr. Nicole. So
but there's something to be said also though when women don't like you but men like you. Does that make sense? Like you can be a guy's girl or you can be a girl's girl, but there's just a lot that I'm not going to get into on this.
I don't think women don't like her though.
I think there are women that do not like her.
I think the fan base, like if you do swoop through Twitter, I think the fan base, the girl, like I don't mean the girls, women, the female fan base, I think they love Dr. Nicole. Really, I'm in a small bracket of people who like Larsa, but I don't care. That's what I'm telling you. I'll never care if I'm not in the popular opinion. That doesn't suit me and never has, never will. But I will do my due diligence. What would you think I should work on as we get into the next season? Do you think she's coming back for sure, Nicole?
Dr. Nicole? Yeah.
You think she's like the star of the show?
Do I think she's the star of the show? No, but she adds to the show because I think we can do without Julia. I think we can do without. I love Gertie and I love what she does and I love her business mindset, but I think we can do without her because again, she's trying to find her place. So she's still in that awkward phase of having these on-camera outbursts that are a little bigger than they need to be and just need to be dialed back a little bit to be transparent as natural, because we all know when you're on camera it's natural but it's not natural, so you have to learn how to represent yourself so that it is portrayed as natural, and that would be a natural response from you. But again, they're doing these scenes when it comes to the actual show and not the reunion, but they're doing these scenes 4 or 5 times back to back to back, and then producers are going to choose whichever one that they favor. So unfortunately, like it didn't hit, but she does have a lot going for her, and I think there is potential there. Adriana, we can also do without, but she's very close because she adds a lot of drama when it comes to the history between her, Alexia, and Marisol. So I think those two girls will stick around always, Adriana and Dr. Nicole, at least for a few seasons deep. Julia might fall off and Gertie might fall off. Kiki might fall off as well, even though I know like she's even
Kiki,
again, and I love her. She's great. Her Whopper moment at Adriana's music video was iconic. It was. She has quick wit when it comes to confessionals, and I think again, confessionals are shot over and over and over, and they ask you different, as you know, they ask you different questions. And I think she has a consistency and she has that formula down in her confessionals of just being naturally her. She says some quirky things like the shape of Voldemort's head and why she knew he was a cheater. That was great as well. So she has those moments, but she's playing nice in a sense. She has her moments, which is cool because that's her. She's finding her character a lot quicker. She plays nice. She plays nice though because she's cool with them. She's cool with them. You got me mad. We're cool. You know, she's very much that person, and she
And
embodies.
she also showed us as she was explaining that she is a single mother, like a
Mhm.
lot of what was going on kind of the rug got pulled from under her. So she
Mhm.
did just enough to give us a full season of humor,
Mhm.
and then for us to say, wait, what else is there? The
She
great
kind of
Kate,
gives me Gretchen from Real Housewives of Orange County, where it's just very, very like I'm a fun person, but like you might be mad at me, but whatever. But like now we're cool. Now I'm mad at you, but whatever. Now we're cool. And Gretchen was very much that person, which is why I always liked her on Real Housewives of Orange County. She was, if anyone embodies unbothered, it's Kiki. To be completely honest with you, now that like it's all coming full circle to me because Gretchen was very unbothered. Kiki is very unbothered, like naturally unbothered and really doesn't care. She is the one because she only cares to interject when like it really compels her to, but at the end of the day she's like, I don't care, like eat each other alive, I'm still here, and I'm gonna do me. I like burgers, I'm gonna eat my burgers. She straight up told Andy right as she exited the reunion, does this have double cheese on it and was it char grilled? Like that is naturally her, and I have not gotten
and
that
I
from any one of the
and I
other
love
girls
how
on the
we
show.
got the full edit. We got the whole like they didn't cut any of that. This was like we love watching Kiki's story.
We
Yeah.
do, and she's getting to a good place, but again, like she's up for elimination, as they would say on RuPaul's Drag Race, because
Oh, wow.
because she doesn't give too much drama and she doesn't fight too much. And not to saying that she's not a good person, that she's not compelling, because I think she's all those things, and she's comedy naturally, just like subtly, naturally. The girl opens her mouth and she's hilarious just because that's who she is. But do I think it's great for Housewives entirely? Not entirely, because it's too nice. It's from a production standpoint, it's too nice, and it's not going to be those viral moments that we all want yet. She has some, but it's not the ones that like the ones who feed off of drama are going to repost. People like you and I are going to repost Kiki because of her comedic timing and the things that she does, because you and I find things like that hilarious. But what the reality show
Ah!
what the reality show, bandwagon wants is Kiki to pull out, Julia's hair, and then it's like, oh my gosh. And then it's
Well,
like, did you hear about this? And it's like, well,
I
that's
don't want
trashy.
that.
So why do we want to repost that? You and I are not
I don't
like
want
that.
that. Yeah, yeah. That
So
the whole goal of
so
this
you and I
show.
would love to have Kiki on the show for the life of the show.
Yeah.
But do I think that they could potentially have her up for elimination? Always, yes, because like she doesn't add to the drama.
That darn Russell Ray Silva, which you can find more of his stuff at youtube.com at Russell X Raymond. You really do have some good points, because I've realized in your your words here, it's not because, again, in the beginning of the season, I was like, oh, okay, I feel like Dr. Nicole's kind of going somewhere. She kind of came with it at the beginning of the season. I think where I'm having a problem, and by the way, Dr. Nicole should just hire me for media training, and I will take care of all of the problems I'm about to say. What it became was, because based on what you just said right now, it became a detachment from who I am like feeling coming through the camera based on her actions, reality or not. Because again, we both are being very aware. We've been around cameras. I told you about the one time I did the Fuse television project, and then they said, you're going to the next round. 4 times, 4 takes. They said, you're going. And I said, oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Like humble. But the 5th one, they told me to amp it up, and they like kept pushing. And then that was the arrogant asshole one, which wasn't really the truth.
Yeah.
But that's what made the edit. So I'm saying, even looking within that, because you and I have experience in being on camera, post-production, all the things.
Yes.
I just feel like Dr. Nicole is kind of so far from where she goes and acts on the show. And so these little, like, I'm the sweetest little bitch was one of her lines, which again, even that is a bit corny, because that reminds me of Sammy Sweetheart's kind of already been done, which, by the way, Dr. Nicole might have been in her, pen and pad writing down, oh, this will be good. Let me do this. She feels very calculated in that way. That's, if I was talking to Dr. Nicole like one-on-one, it would be I need it to come through a little more naturally. You're trying to do the I'm unbothered, they live rent free, I'm the sweetest little bitch, like all of these like little cutesy things, but you on the show and in all your interviews, because I will always, because I'm a broadcast professional for 20 years, I will never make a judgment on somebody but not also see their side. So you best believe, and it's not like I hate watch because I love Dr. Nicole, there's no issue. I'll watch every interview and I'm always like, oh, the trying too hard, like the case of the trying too hards.
Yeah.
Like that's what's happening. And I think on some end, like the other girls are like, we don't have that leverage. Like Larsa, not that Larsa doesn't like Dr. Nicole, but let's say she did. I think she feels like I don't get to keep anything secret. Like all these little jokes that Dr. Nicole made in the show, like, oh, well, we all know who she's dating now, Marcus Jordan. Like Larsa's had to be on Front Street for so long that I think she gets a little like when she sees somebody not really being that authentic, it's kind of like hard for her to be around it.
You know what I was surprised by? So what I was surprised by is her comment about having a child out of wedlock. I was surprised that Andy didn't take offense to that because Andy has had his own kids, via surrogate or gestational or however he went about it and not be married. So and Andy's good at this. He will actually remove himself and not be part of the story because that's your job as a host. You never want to be part of the story. All you want to do is facilitate and let the story unfold, right? But I was surprised because in some instances he gets very passionate. So I was surprised he didn't make a comment, especially because a lot of gay couples are not married when they're having children, just because like we're fighting for rights to be married. We're fighting for rights to be parents. Like there's just a lot going on. But I'm surprised he didn't correct that at the door because he should have been just as offended as Dr. Nicole. And I was like, oh, interesting. He didn't say anything. Or I'm also because Larsa, as a person of who she is, I'm surprised she didn't use Andy as an example and say, you had children out of wedlock. How did you feel about that comment?
In what way she would be asking him? She would be
Because
telling him.
she was obviously defending herself of like, I didn't mean anything by it. It wasn't supposed to come off that way. Okay. Andy, you also have kids out of wedlock. How would you feel if I meant, because Andy does this too, where
would that be considered out of wedlock?
parallels.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
He'll draw parallels with other housewives or things that are said or how it lands. So I'm surprised Larsa, being in the industry as long as she has, didn't turn and ask him, Andy, if I said you had children out of wedlock, how would that land with you? To get his perspective on it.
I don't know if that would work, but I can see it. Now, Andy does, I mean, as a gay man, you don't have kids out of wedlock, though. Oh, in terms of the wedlock, I guess, is the marriage aspect. I do feel it's a little different. My own personal, I feel like it's a little.
There was a few things that were just done in the reunion that I was like, wait a minute. Like when.
Well, can we? It sounds like you're gonna poo-poo over the queen.
Larsa. No, I'm moving from Larsa. I'm going on to Lisa. Hello? Where did you go? So when Lisa said love is love, it's like, really? Like the LGBTQIA2 plus community came up with that in order to make everybody feel, in order to make the heteros feel more comfortable about themselves, about allowing us to have our love. So when you say love is love, when it comes to an age gap, that is not the same thing as of you having to fight for your rights of actually being legally able to be recognized as a couple. So I wasn't being hypersensitive about it. However, I was also very aware, and I was trying not to be woke, but I was aware of what message that transcends down to pioneers and people who have actually fought for rights to have the love is love comment made. And so I was like, well, that was a miss. And like, again, I love Lisa and I love everything that she's about. And I feel for her and her divorce and really going out on a limb to put herself out there on the show and like have a hot mic moment. Like she really had a lot of disrespect thrown her way this season in regards to Voldemort, which we will not mention that name anymore. But I was like, love is love, girl. Come on. We have to be a little bit more we have to be a little bit more hyper aware of actually where we're at right now when it comes to the LGBTQIA2 plus community, because we're losing rights day by day and state by state. We're losing rights to be authentic in ourselves. And again, talking about authenticity when it comes to TV shows and reality, like we're losing that in just natural life. So I just want anybody who watches this to be aware when you make comments that are originated from the LGBTQ community, you have to be aware that it doesn't necessarily translate over into the straight community because there weren't rights that had to be fought for. So again,
I,
like there's just moments in the reunion that were like underhandedly cringeworthy, as in like if you were paying attention, it's like, ooh, you missed your mark, not directly, but indirectly missed your mark on what you're trying to explain. But just like I need the cast to be aware. Again, you're on a super platform when it comes to Peacock TV, and you need to think twice before you actually speak, because the way that it translates over to different communities can make or break you.
my first comment is I like your Miami themed shirt today. That's fun. But the second thing I was gonna say is it's interesting that you were talking about like I don't want to get to a point where I feel like I'm overly woke. And
Mhm.
this is kind of like a running thing. I think this is like therapy today that I think that I do. I really would never feel that anyone would be looked at as overly woke. I think we get to a space where people hold like this aspect of nobility if they're just like, again, unbothered. Again, not equating anything from what I was
Mhm.
saying earlier, but like
Mhm.
that's like you're more like you're tough or whatnot. Whereas like if somebody says, "Yo, what's up with that? Like love is love," you like do you understand? To
Do
be
you
honest,
understand the impact of
what
like where this came
that
from?
was coming from, we were clawing, to get the love is love.
Yeah.
Really, the history. If I were to say, and I guess I should have some moments where I critique Larsa, so you know that I'm human. Um, if I were to say, like, when she so casually, especially Larsa, in my opinion, she's got a huge, following of gay fans, and she
Mhm.
so casually, so comfortably was like, it's the L, the G, the season one. I didn't love that. I didn't
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I didn't get crazy about it, but I didn't love that. And I would say it, and I wouldn't ever calculate or assess, does this make randomly Ronnie Jr. look like he's shooken up? No, I think the opposite, and I think we got to stop that, knock that off. Not saying you did anything wrong, but I'm saying I think I'm empowering you, Russell, by
Mhm.
when you said what you said. I'm like, yes, 10 toes down, absolutely. She doesn't need to take the
Like not make light of
terminology.
it.
That
Yeah.
terminology was earned, and it was
Yes.
earned to
Very much
make
so.
the straights feel comfortable, and it was
Yes.
necessary
Yes.
in a certain stage of rights, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Absolutely.
I
And
wanted
again,
to. Oh,
when
go.
people watch this, especially the Bravo celebrities that watch this and want to have an opinion based off of what we have to say, we are watching and we're combing through with a fine-tooth comb like any other media outlet would do. And we're highlighting. We're highlighting the points that stand out or that need to be addressed. Just like any sportscaster would. And like, I reference sports a lot because I played sports. So when these sports commentators come on and they're talking about the shows, or they're talking about these plays, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, they're addressing what errors or what plays were made well and what plays were not made well on the field, and why they ended up in the situation where they were either win or loss or at the Super Bowl or in the finals. Like, you have to address these things. And so I think it's important when you're watching these things, especially to do my own due diligence to our community, you have to point these things out, like you said, that were earned and that were clawed and scratched at the surface for so long in order to get a seat at the table. And it's our responsibility to tell, again, as the media, to tell the truth. And that's where it comes from. And so it doesn't mean that we dislike you or that we like you more or like you less. Like, these are things that have to be pointed out because you might not be aware. So, in the sense of, maybe Lisa will watch this and say, oh, you know what? I really didn't register that, but let me let me actually do some good in the community to let them know, like, you know what? that was just me trying to just like, that was me trying to just wrinkle
That
out or unwrinkle the page here during the reunion. But I do understand. I understand you. I see you.
that
That's what everybody wants.
That or she might do like Alexia and say, I've done more for the LGBT community
Oh my
than
gosh.
you ever did, Julia. Not Julia and Martina, who's an icon. That's just funny. See, I could have fun with Alexia and some errors. We're gonna talk about. I did prepare a little best of Larsa moments, kind of a thing, or I don't know what you would call it, but we're gonna get to it. And I will just kind of give you the landscape of where we're gonna go. I will do a little critique of her before that, just so we're like fair. We know I'm a human,
Okay.
and I have feelings and emotions, but I love me some Larsa. But I wanted to say real quickly while we're talking about LGBTQIA plus advocacy, the beauty that Julia is a hard watch on a lot of occasions, but Martina is not, and Martina has been Martina. Like, this is one of these interesting things that she went through this scare. I'm just so happy that in the reunion we are able to feel and understand that she is feeling better and has went through the tougher part of the storm. Apparently Dr. Nicole was up in the mix, and that was all of it is beautiful. So salute to Dr. Nicole as well, and salute to Julia for just being there. And none of it is ever taken for granted that they were to get through these 2 battles of cancer. And nothing should ever be taken that we have them on this show. It could have been so easy, whether you like Julia or not, could have been so easy for the fan base to be like, we don't really want to see 2 women on the show. I mean, stuff like that happens. You think about all the TV shows that maybe not in the lesbian space, but that have been taken off the air, not because of a gay or queer storyline, but just in general. You don't get a lot of chances, is what I'm saying. So I'm just really happy that was highlighted. Is Julia
Can we talk
fun
about Andy Cohen mentioning how big of a superstar Martina was, but how humble Martina was to just take a step back during BravoCon, even though everybody wanted to see her, everybody wanted to know her, everybody wanted pictures with her. But he was like, I thought it was so cool to see her holding your bag and just like being there for you in your moment. I was like, this is what we love. We love to see 2 superstars, like whether we like it or not. Julia is a superstar because she's on such a big show on a platform like such, still finding her place. Like, again, we have those quirky ones, which we also need to bring them. We also need to bring light to quirky people so that people out there who watch this show can be like, hey, I'm kind of quirky like that. I like animals. Selena Quintanilla liked animals. She wanted a whole farm. So there is a group of people who everyone can relate to. So I think it's nice to highlight moments like that, especially Andy. Andy does a good job at highlighting things. And I didn't mean that I roll like in a negative connotation. I was just trying to get my thoughts through.
No, you did nothing wrong.
Because sometimes, like, I have one thought over here.
He's not done.
Sometimes I have one thought over here, and then I gotta go find the other thought over there because, like, I gotta like cross the bridge to get to the other side.
Yeah. Well, we're waiting and we're listening, so it's good. No, it is a big moment, and again, cannot be said enough that we don't take for granted that the great Martina is on this show. And yes, to see Julia, who at one point was the wife, and that was not like the role, but a role, and now things are changing to Julia to step into her inner superstarness. It's great. And Martina's also very showbiz friendly. She was on that TV show on Netflix called The Politician. Like, Martina likes it a little. I think she does. So that was fantastic. The challenging, and I guess we gotta talk about everyone else too, because there was other great stories that were going on. I loved hearing about Mama Elsa and kind of how things happened in terms of the fillers or whatnot. Just having her being brought up was nice. I don't know, we don't get it enough. But let's get to one thing about Larsa that was just like I can't really defend, but at the same time it's just like we got to move on. But people are not going to. I mean, you gotta love the chick for her tenacity to say, "Doctor, you don't have a job."
Not a real job.
She said it. I'm like, oh my God, Larsa, I'm just obsessed with you all day, every day.
You know
Just
what?
what do you think? What?
Dr. Pimple Popper came for her.
Oh, well, that's because she wants to. Who's that? Who is Dr. Pimple? Who
Dr.
is that?
Pimple Popper has her own show. She doesn't need a cast.
But why does she come? Why does she? What does she say?
She was more or less like not defending Dr. Nicole, but just defending doctors in general of like dismissing their profession, and especially anesthesiologists, because she's like, I'm
She was
nothing without my
dismissed.
anesthesiologist.
I gotta wait my turn.
Go ahead. Say.
No, she. This is just comical because I think that Dr. Tiffany Moon, who was, I don't know if she was interesting on Dallas. I never watched Dallas, but I saw she had to come in too. It's like nobody was talking to you. Like, just can we not let? I didn't love the comment, but everyone just trying to. The way people, the irony is that people want to eat off Larsa's name so badly. Like,
I don't know if it has to do with that, but if I went
But
to
if-
school to be a lawyer and
but
then
it has
someone told
nothing-
me that lawyers aren't professionals, I would
Russell,
be like,
I love that you're saying that, but no one said it to those respective parties. Like the knock was because like this is a reality show. This is what happens. Again, I always say this is not a PBS special, yet sometimes we want to say that it is. Once we get to reunion, all of a sudden it is a PBS special or a documentary. But the point of the show is, situations, you're less than favorable situations, and then you say what you think, I say what I think. So I may go for the jugular. You know what I mean? That was about you. All these other people jumping in. Oh, the bandwagon to just like tear down Larsa. Larsa don't care. She don't care. But should she have said that? No.
No.
Why did she say? I need to figure out. I need to calculate in my mind why was that? Because Larsa's swift. She is really quick with the mouth. Why was that where she went? She's so fast. She could have said something else, but she had the nerve. She had what you call in as a performer, but also in like Real Housewives, she had the delusional confidence to fix her mouth to say, well, you ain't even got a regular job, a real job.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Why did she do that? What was that about? Give me your opinion. Go talk. You go. I don't know what to say.
I think it's honestly lack of I wouldn't even know if it's lack of respect for education. I'm more in the thought of like, you were in an unintelligent place at that point to say something like that. That's strictly what that is. Like, you are in an unintelligent place in order to make a comment like that, because I wouldn't look at a firefighter and tell them like, you don't have a real job. Like,
or there's not like bravery to it. Like,
yeah,
there's an
like
aspect
exactly.
Of that, yeah.
I wouldn't look at a firefighter and be like, you're not brave, you're a coward. Like, that dismiss it again, that would dismiss all of the firefighters that ran up into the towers on 9/11. And it's like, that's just an unintelligent thing to say, right? Like, we know that firefighters who have to run into buildings on fire, putting their lives at risk. Like, any building can collapse at any moment. Like, especially an apartment building that's like the one that I live in, like, it's 2 stories. If this thing catches on fire and someone has to run down here in the back because Shane would be trapped in the primary bedroom, it's like any given moment the ceiling can fall in and then anybody can get trapped in here, right? So it's just you were just in an unintelligent place at that time to make a comment like that, because a few of them ladies on that show have gotten some work done who have dealt with anesthesiologists. So,
well, that was the thing about Marisol's mom. Like, I think she was even saying, she's like, my mom didn't, what did she say? She didn't want something, which therefore didn't allow her to get anesthesia. So like, yeah, we know how valuable it is.
yeah.
And what a fantastic and important, profession that it is. And again, even when I was saying what I was saying, not that I was, backpedaling, I was like, okay, here are some significant things that I think Dr. Nicole needs to work on. And here's like, she's not compelling. I was saying all the things, but I never came for her career
Yeah.
because I was like, that's a respectable thing. And especially knowing, or at least as a viewer, we were privileged to this information, but to see, because again, that was for me the light bulb. It was like, oh, when the father went through with what he went through, we'll say it that way. I was about to say did. When the
Mhm.
father did what he did, but let's say what the father went through, what he went through, and how that was a ripple effect and turned a young, impressionable Dr. Nicole into this fierce woman. That's why
Mhm.
she is where she is in terms of her career. So I that was the one where I was like, oh man, gosh, to be a Larsa fan in this moment, it's a tough moment because
It
I
was
really
a
like her
tough
so
moment.
much. But I will say, I don't know why she said it. There's nothing really we could do about it, but it did kind of suck. But I still love her, and I still feel that Dr. Tiffany Moon and Dr. Pimple Popper, mind your business. Mind your no, who asked you? Who even asked you? It was not even about you. That's what I will stand 10
You have to
toes
remember though,
down
when
on.
people make comments online, it's because there's this unspoken alliance. What like that would be like someone that would be like someone dismissing Housewives in general, saying that's not a real career or a real show. So then all the Housewives, even though like that's probably a bad example, but all the Housewives would come out of the woodworks and be like, even the ones who are not on television would be like, Housewives is a real show, it's real work. They would do they would do those things to defend those people. And I just think as doctors, the reason they came out of the woodworks is because it was an unintelligent comment that was made, and it's like it's validating those people. But and we talked about this on my podcast, it's validating those people who are actually going through the process right now to let them know, like, keep pushing, this career is worth it. Don't mind what someone says about this career and saying it's not a real job.
Right. Yeah. What,
Because
what Larsa says about your career, that's on you. The
but
career is
again
hard.
but again
Like, why
we're in
how
the
could
day and
her
age right
words?
now where TikTok, like I told you, is pushing content to promote our youth into being reality stars, to being TikTok famous, to being Instagram famous, when they're pushing on their side of the platform to their youth, be educators, be
Mhm.
doctors, be firefighters, be astronauts, be all these important things that take time, and actually like you have to really get into your brain. And like I say it all the time, I went into broadcasting because I was able to that's all my brain could understand. Like I started as pre-med, and I was like, oh no, like I couldn't fathom someone not following my doctor's orders and then dying on me on an operation table, because that would have weighed so heavy on me. Like I am a big baby when it comes to stuff like that. I'm even a sucker for homeless people on the street, or like seeing them in the store trying to purchase something to eat. I will like whatever you want to buy for food, like get it. Like you're not here getting alcohol, you're not here getting cigarettes. So it's just like one of those things where we're in a society right now where like the internet is a powerful tool, but the internet is also a poisonous tool. And so it is important for people like that to say these things, because when you see, it would be like someone saying, why do we all get offended when Republicans talk about not having LGBTQ rights, right? Even though
Oh,
they
not
might
the
be coming for
political
drag queens.
show.
But I'm saying, like, even though they're coming for drag queens, like you and I are going to stand up, even though you and I are not drag queens. So, and again, people could say, why would our opinion matter? But it's just being part of that community and validating those people who do drag, as in, keep doing what you do. You bring us entertainment. We love you. You're important. You really help young kids and young teenagers become more of themselves than anybody else in society, because you're teaching them to be comfortable with who you are. So I think that's all where these people are coming from when other doctors speak out. It's more or less giving the reassurance for anybody that's actually going through that process. I think it's less about Dr. Nicole or less about Larsa, but it's giving validation to those people who are actually putting their time and effort into becoming doctors at this moment. As of, don't worry about what anybody has to say. Everyone's always going to have an opinion. Just keep going. And like,
I think
there's a community here that has your back.
yeah, it really is. And just so you should know about me too, because you're probably like, oh, he probably likes all the influencers. No, I don't like any of them. I just like Larsa, you know what I mean? And I don't like the fact that we wash her off so easily. It's like every end of the joke is like, well, oh, why don't you sell your feet? Who cares? That's what she did. So on the one flip side, you know, and I am for that too. I am for the education. I am for, becoming
Yeah.
a doctor. I love all of those things. I was never one of these people who was like, oh, I'm obsessed with the Kardashians. Never. I didn't even watch when Larsa was on the Kardashian show. I never watched. Never ever. I loved her from season 1, episode 1, frame 1 from Miami. That's when I was obsessed. Because, anyways, I'm gonna do a little segment in a moment. I'm just saying, you know what? Who cares what I'm saying? I'm just saying. What am I saying? I'm just.
You were just about to say if you think her butt is real or fake because Andy brought that up.
I'm just saying I feel like a lot of people like have such a projection of the way that they don't like things in society. So when they see her, she represents so much of that. So they feel like they could treat her any kind of way, And if I were to defend her, which I always do, I would say I think that's why she does that whole like even the terminology she would say would be like, oh, if you come for me, I come back at you 10 times harder. I think she is on the defense because it's like this weird thing. It's like in this day and age, and maybe back in the day you could not do this, you would have been able to you wouldn't have been able to have a career by being, physically hot. Being pretty is always helpful, but like not in the way that it is today, social media and Instagram influencer style. So because she is doing that, it's like, or people are very have tons of really negative things to say about her. So I feel like she's constantly having to defend so many aspects of her. But
if she's unbothered by it, she wouldn't be defending it.
No, but I don't think that really goes hand in hand.
I think in a sense it does.
I just told you a second ago.
I told you unbothered by it, like just block, delete, whatever. Like don't like, you know what I mean?
No, but I don't. My thoughts, my own opinion. If there's something that's going on that's asinine, to my opinion, I'm able to pop off, keep it moving. I don't, because that's what I told you a second ago. You were saying if Lisa says this comment, love is love, that might strike you in a way, and you felt a little trepid to say it. I said, no, you could say it, and you could still be unbothered. You could be like, Lisa, you were out of pocket. You could make your comment, and you can move on. I don't think that just because you say something back, and I struggle with this too, because I was in a conversation with a family member recently, and they were like, you're always so this and this. And I'm like, I barely care about shit. Like, I'm so chill about a lot of things. I'm just a passionate person, and I'm going to say what I say because I like to just get it all out. That doesn't mean I'm like there are a few things. I'm a human. I have a heart that I do ponder and do make me sad, and like I do take to heart. But a lot of them are just like, get it out your system. You say what you say and move on. I don't think, it's as simple as saying if she was so unbothered, Larsa, that she wouldn't say anything. Being defensive means somehow, there's something wrong with her. I don't know. I'm trying to get out of this part of the show.
Well, let's get into Alexia and her comments. I don't agree with necessarily her calling and you know me, like I rock for both sides, and I always have to see both opinions, but you can't say I'm more equal or more important than you are, right? So when Alexia is calling Dr. Nicole, and this isn't even to defend Dr. Nicole, this is just strictly like Alexia going on her own words. If you call Dr. Anthony the B word because the way that he talks about women, then what are you digging into Adriana's dates past about his relationship, and then you pulling out facts to him to try and shut him down or talk about him and his life? So what is it? Should people mind their business, or should they continue? Like, you can't be on both sides of the fence. And I feel like Alexia's had a lot of those moments this season, and I think that came to it was spearheaded at the reunion. Is you can't say one thing and you can't do another, right? You can't be like being a man in today's society, especially like a gay man, is so hard. Like, and you have to be feminist, and you have to be like anti-misogynistic, but you can't be pro like I like being a man, because then you're like shunned upon. But you like it's such a weird place for me. So to watch her call Anthony the B word because of the way he talks about someone, or like, then why is it okay for you to talk about men in the sense that you're talking about them. Does that translate? Does that make sense? I was trying
Are
to
you
find
saying?
I was
Oh,
trying
go
to find a
ahead.
place of like how I can understand her better, of like, as in, okay, I see her points, but it's hard for me to see her points when you're contradicting yourself. Like, keep women's name out your mouth and don't talk about women. Agree. But why is it okay for you to talk about men? Does that make sense? Like, I
It
in my
does. I mean,
mind
it does.
is
I
to
don't know that she is conceptually equating the two. I think what probably should have happened is, in terms of what you're saying about the error that she made with Adriana's, that the guy was actually divorced and Adriana would not be a quote unquote home wrecker.
and
Um,
again, like, before you get into this, I'm not trying to specify anything specific that Dr. Anthony said, or like Dr. Anthony that
Now we
Dr.
call him
Anthony
Dr. Anthony.
said,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but he tends to have an opinion, like, no matter who it comes to, man or woman. And Alexia is very bothered by that. So why is she not bothered by her own actions and having an opinion, regardless of what it is?
You make a wonderful point, but I just don't know how they connect. Like, I don't understand specifically how they connect.
Mhm.
I'll say one view of one side, and then we'll go to the other. You could
Okay.
like refresh on the
Okay.
one side towards when she called him that. When did she call him that? Was that at that was at the lunch? Um, was that when she did that to Anthony?
She called him this during the reunion. Like, she looked at Nicole. Well, she
Oh,
looked at Nicole specifically, and she said Anthony is a B word
oh, right. So
because
you're
he
saying she
pretty much
shouldn't have.
because he talks about women.
Did she preface it like that? She said it like, oh, because you talk about women, you're the.
She
and
didn't
it,
say
and
that
you felt like it was.
specifically, but she was curving it that way
It
so that
was
it was
like,
understood and received that way.
yeah, and you're emasculating. Her intent was to emasculate him, kind of a
Yeah.
thing. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess you can't really have it. Everyone's gonna react how they react. I assume, is going off that dinner. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that lunch that they had, because you know,
Well, she was going
um,
off of that, and she was also going off of the fact that, like, he made the comments about Larsa. And so, and again, like, were those comments timed right? Probably not. Like, you
mhm.
probably shouldn't have said those things. But in general, I think Alexia is bothered by him making comments about women in general, whether or having opinions. I don't
Maybe
even think they're
she,
comments. I think just
yeah.
opinions in general.
Maybe she could have been more specific, like, and not framing it in that way, and just been more
Yeah.
specific. Like, I really don't like the way Anthony came at me, and Todd, and tested Todd in that moment. Like
Hmm.
Anthony can't sit there and be like, I wasn't trying to be funny. Like,
Hmm.
clearly Anthony was trying to be funny. He has to own that. I don't know if he does or doesn't, but I think that's where she had the availability to have an opinion on it. But now you're saying her doing what she did to Adriana, you're saying that's such a hypocrisy type moment?
Yeah, like, not even doing what she did to Adriana, but just doing what she did to Thierry.
Mm.
It's like, if you don't want anybody else to have an opinion, then don't have an opinion. If you don't want no one else to dig dirt or
Wait, so do
talk
we don't
smack,
have
then you don't dig dirt and talk smack. In my eyes, it's equivalent across the board. Like, if you don't want them talking smack or digging up dirt, then you also don't do it. But you don't get a pass just because you're a woman, and it doesn't even have to do with you being a woman, but you don't get a pass just because you're you, opposed to this person not getting a pass because they're them.
I don't know that she thinks that she gets a pass just because it's her. And who did
Well, we know Alexia doesn't register anything about like apologies, empathy, like
yeah.
empathizing, like empathy. And there's a little empathy there, but like apologizing, does she think that
she
makes mistakes? No, I think there's a lot of narcissism there.
Well, I don't even know if it's narcissism. I think it's really like her feeling the need to really defend herself, even unnecessarily. A lot of times it's not that serious or that targeted. A lot of times it is, but a lot of times it's not. And she's very like in control. And she does, sometimes need to listen a little bit better to get along. But I mean, I think it
Hold
didn't.
on. With your point being said about defending, let me I just want to go back to my point again, and this has nothing to do specifically with Dr. Nicole. This has where do you stand again, like you're having a private moment at home. So where do you stand in comforting your wife and trying to make her feel better about a situation, and trying to somewhat make light of the situation, but be critical of the situation when it comes to these girls or whatever. So where do you stand with also that, but also defending your wife at the table? So like I took it as in now you don't want her, now you don't want him to defend his wife. Now you're offended when he defends his wife. Like where are you supposed to stand?
Well, yeah, no, I think he had every
Because
right. I mean,
Todd can do that.
his comments were a little much, but
And
no,
his comments were very much out of place.
he had every right to defend his wife, and
Yeah.
she had every right to say, why are you trying to be funny? But I'm the only issue that I'm trying to understand from you, and sorry if I'm just not picking it up right away. How is that equivalent making her a hypocrite? That's what I'm not understanding.
It makes her a hypocrite because she has her own comments about things that have nothing to do with her. Right.
So,
So her equivalence, and I'm going to use Larsa as the example. So her equivalence is Anthony saying Larsa can take her big fat butt and mind her own business, right? Her equivalence is that's not okay for you to say that, but it's okay for me to not mind my business and to dig in Thierry's background. There's a lot of dots that I have to connect here. Dig in Thierry's background and then talk about him in a negative way and make you feel bad about the person that you're potentially dating. Then it's also not okay for Adriana to have her feelings because she's being hypersensitive, but it's okay for Alexia to have her opinions on Julia. You know what I mean? It's all these situations of I'm going to talk about you and I'm going to have my opinion about you, but no one else is allowed to have an opinion
but they could have
about
it. They
me or
they could have
anybody
it
else.
though. But they could have it. She can set that, but they could have it. Like
I think my bothersome is the fact that you're going to go out of your way to call someone the B word, but you're not going to call your own husband that.
Well, what did he do that created that?
But he has his own opinions as well. Are they highlighted on the show as much? Not necessarily. But I'm saying like you can't hold the double standard of you're allowed to have opinions or you're not allowed to have opinions in dig dirt, but I'm going to have opinions in dig dirt.
But they can tell her that she's they can have a reaction to the way that she did that. I don't think it's a favorable move that she did that. I don't think it's great.
Of course, I'm just mentioning the fact that
I
it
am
came
saying,
up in the reunion.
Not a tit for tat thing, but maybe this is how this works on the show.
Mhm.
Like, going back to Adriana, again, what you say, are you saying it because you got my back, or are you saying it to be funny, or the worst of them all, are you just stupid? Adriana.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
That
Marisol.
letter?
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. Marisol, I talked to him and he said he never loved you. Like, okay, you're either saying it to be funny or you're that stupid. I'm not calling anyone stupid, but it's that. So
that's interesting that you take it that way.
Real quick. So going back to last season, and I'm just trying to get to only because you're asking. I'm not defending Alexia per se.
Yeah. And
when you're asking the question and you're saying why maybe is Alexia feeling that, is because I think maybe from last season she was a bit bothered. Speaking of bothered, she's a bit bothered that Adriana went out of her way to say, "Oh, and by the way, he died with a man, with a lover inside of him," or whatever the case.
Oh my gosh!
And that, I don't think that Alexia ever sort of let that go.
Let it go.
And then when you have contributions to maybe little things she might have been doing to Marisol along the course of the season, or little rumblings or things you hear in Miami, small city, big but small. And I think that's why she took the initiative and didn't equate the two. Because the way you frame it, it is hypocritical, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think she equated the two. I think she looked at it very much as Adriana's corny ass did this, this, and this. Oh, let me let her know. The sad thing is Alexia was wrong ultimately. And she definitely should have, like, at some point said, I watched the season. I own that 1000%. I could learn from that. I had issues with you. She doesn't do that very well, I'll say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's maybe where I see the difference. But go ahead. What were you saying?
So, well, actually, I was going to get onto my next point. We've talked about Kiki. We've talked about Dr. Nicole. We talked about Larsa. We've talked about Alexia. We talked about Adriana. Now let's talk about Marisol. And where I was going with this is, I also wanted to make a comment about Adriana too. Do I entirely think that when she mentioned Marisol's ex, did I think it was bad timing? Yes. Did I think it was like, what the hell are you doing? Yes. In a sense, though, I almost think of it again, and I would take it in this context, as in, like, if someone told me that my ex never loved me, I'd be like, well, thank God I let that go, because clearly it was not meant to be. And I'm so glad that you told me this. I might not initially receive it like that, but once I register it, I would think, thank God you told me this, because I was hanging on to something there, and I was thinking about the what ifs, and what if I went about it this way? What if I just didn't say something when it came to this? Or what if I turned the other cheek when you were cheating? But if someone came to me and said they actually never loved you, and they try to hit me up as your friend, I didn't occupy, because at the end of the day, she didn't occupy it. So I didn't occupy it. I'd be like, thank God. Thank God there's closure entirely to that situation, because I see that for Marisol as, it might have not been translated or relayed correctly, but I see that as a win. Like, you are on a good page. You have a good man by your side right now. Like, what a win to have gotten rid of, like, trash off of your shoulder, off of your back. They're not sharing this super moment with you to be on such an amazing streaming platform with NBC Universal and Peacock TV. Like, that man does not have those moments with you now. So what a blessing it was to have him removed, because he didn't love you, even if that isn't entirely true, but that's what he stated, right? I didn't love her. Okay, cool. Now you don't get these great moments that I'm getting with the man that I found now, who I'm supposed to be with. And I think in Marisol's, I I think the
You're
heart was in the
definitely
right place.
telling a story of the glass half full, which in your words makes sense, but in real regular human feeling life, I mean, it's back to what I said about Adriana. It's like, you, one of three things: you were either doing it to be a good girlfriend and you were to have the person's back, or you were trying to be funny and are not owning it, or
Mhm.
you're stupid, fortunately.
No,
And
but
so
if
that's
you
where
take the
I get the, understand what you're saying, but I get the little bit of like, no, she was doing that to be salty to Marisol. So like, it's not really as much as it's a great story to say like, well, I'm glad I'm not with him because, he would have been redeeming all of what's going on in my amazing life. You still put me out there and tried to humiliate me. You know what I mean?
and
That would be my
that may
only
all very
difference.
well be true, but just take the facts of what it is, and this is what he stated. He didn't love you. He tried to date your friend. So those are two facts, right? According to Adriana, like, this is what he said. He didn't love you, and this is what I'm telling you, is that he tried to take me out on a date. And take the fact that Adriana did not occupy it and go with him on a date. Those are just three facts. Boom, boom, boom. And as you and I journalists, those are the most important things, right? So didn't love you, allegedly. And, like, if this is your friend, like, they're relaying the message to you, as a friend should, whether it's good or bad. Didn't love you. Tried to hit me up. I did not occupy it. Those are three things that happened. Okay. Now, how you receive it is different. But in my mind, it's a win. Whether she liked or disliked the way that it was presented to her, it's a win, because no one should ever be with anybody that doesn't love them. No one should ever be with anybody that's going to be shady and try to date your friend behind your back when you're outside of junior high or high school, right? Because we all know that that's messy and people are still trying to figure out themselves in the dating world. So that, and your friend showed loyalty by not occupying it and going out on the date with the person. So that's just the plain facts right there as it is. And what you say, you're in a happy relationship, boom, that's a win. You have this moment for you, boom, that's a win. So again, you could be mad at Adriana because you think she was outing you on camera and feel that she was outing you, and you might very well be in the right place to feel that way. But this, like, ultimately, this is a win for you as an individual. You know what I mean? Whether it was made to make you look like an ass, or it was, someone trying to make a joke of a situation and they missed their mark. Like, this is still a win for Marisol, in my opinion. This is still a win for her, because I myself would not want to be for anybody that did not want to be with me.
The return of Russell, the life coach, making everything.
But again, like, look, again, I try to see the facts, and I know certain people come for me in the comments. And
not today.
I will call a fact a fact. And the fact is, you have a happy relationship. You're happy with where you are. You have a great platform. You have a great thing going for you. So even if, right, because I have to give equity in every perspective and every potential way of this is presented. Even if this was presented to you in such a negative way where someone's trying to break you down, look at the good in it, because you actually have a win. Whether this was made in a comment to make you look like an ass, or make it look like I'm a supportive friend, this is still a win in your corner. So yes, you can be hurt by it, and there's validation in that. But yes, take this as a win, because you're in a great place. As you told Lisa when she was going through her divorce, you're in a great place, and you have a lot of good things going for you. You've run your own PR firm. This person would have had weight in your life right now. And we all know someone who stayed in a relationship because of strictly the convenience. You got away from that. Like, that is a win.
I thought you were going to say strictly for the day.
Oh, well, there's that too. But again, that's a convenience. That's a convenience. You stay with someone
stay in that relationship.
Put it down in the bedroom. Like, that is a convenience. So again,
you're making
has
points.
A win on her shoulders.
You are making points, but what Adriana, when she said, he said he never loved you, Marisol should have said, well, nobody loves you.
Oh, shoot. See, okay, but there you go. You're trying to put on the boxing gloves. And that would have factually been a dig, right? That would have been a dig. No one loves you. So again,
okay. So let's.
Those are just the facts of what it is, and all you can take it is for what's being. You can only take the truth of how it's told to you. But again, no matter which way it was told to Marisol, even if it was breaking news all over the press, and this person came out and did a confessional, you still have the win. So take that. And again, feel hurt if you feel like your friend hurt you. Absolutely feel hurt. But you still have a win on your shoulders, whether it was to make you look like an ass or make you look like a champion. Like, you still have the ball is in your court. Like, this is a great moment for you.
She still has the win, but I think she still feels like this. She still feels like, ooh. We credit this moment as the mouth of the season. This goes back to the great Marisol in a confessional, the trolling of it all. It may have been natural, but we do not feel that it is, but that's also very good. We love that Marisol is here, and she is here to play the game. Thank you very much. That was when she was making a joke of, getting her confessional look. And then, of course, they gave us the close-up, and we have not lived it down. Okay, here's a really good question. So do you think that Marisol actually wasn't that bugged out by the situation, maybe thrown off at the very beginning, but she cried about it at the reunion?
Mm-hmm.
There's a part of me, and we're friendly with Marisol on the direct message and stuff like that on Instagram, but I don't know the answer. There's a part of me that was like, oh, was she putting on extras for it? Meaning in the space of what you're talking about, like, I'm in a better place right now. Going back there, it was what it was. And the reason I say that is because, well, I don't know. I don't know why I felt that. I'm like, oh, I think she's kind of more evolved past it. It does suck. You don't want to go back to yesteryear, but I think she's kind of okay. But I think she jumped into the crying, the crocodile tears.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost feel like she did it to show. This is just really me reading into things. You're gonna get me together in a moment. Because one of the things I have hated about this season, and Marisol has not contributed to this, Alexia has not contributed to this. Kiki has not contributed to this, and the great Larsa Pippen has not contributed to this. But everyone else with the victim, like, I mean, it is unbearable to watch the way these other cast members want so badly. They because Larsa and Alexia, they're bigger personalities, they're bound to say something that's a little off at one point, not really something you should say. And they can't wait. There was a moment at the end of the episode, and I know I'm kind of jumping around, where even though it's not chill, but there was a moment where Larsa's like, yeah, I guess we could get along. Me and Nicole could get along. Now, this might just be the cut they showed us, because again, this is television. But in my mind, Nicole goes, oh no, I'm gonna go from first seat to last seat. Like, she loves this, like the concept. And Gertie, they love this so much. They love so much that they could be like, oh God, look at those women. They're out of line. They said this, they said that. Woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. I only just thought of that because I said, have you noticed that Alexia doesn't do that? Larsa doesn't do that. Marisol really doesn't do that. They don't play, little feeble. And it just was really funny. And I was like, oh, is Marisol trolling the situation? Get me together, Russell. What do you think?
You know what? No, there's something to be said when someone can actually wear their heart on their sleeve. And when she brought out the crocodile tears, did I think they were absolutely phony? No, I didn't think they were absolutely phony. I think you can give space to moments that you enjoyed, and you can grieve the lost moments that you've had with that person because you're not in a good place with them right now. You can do that. And I think you can miss those good things. Now, do I think that Adriana had them in her wedding strictly out of clout? I don't think so. I think they had a genuine friendship, and I think you can miss that. And you can also not want someone in your life right now because you're in a new chapter. So I think that's okay. But I think that Alexia and I don't, you know what? I haven't seen Marisol play the victim. I've seen Alexia do it though. Alexia. I'm telling you, her and Teresa are like hand in hand. They're both the same person. Just one is blonde and one is brunette.
See, Teresa, I can't watch for the life of me, but Alexia, I live for Alexia. Yeah, she's great. I mean, she has her issues. Yes, this is a TV show. We've said at the very beginning, one thing we love about Alexia is that she shows up. She's big, and sometimes, especially this day and age, so many people want to be a little bit more cautious because they're protecting their brand, and I just feel like sometimes we get a little too harsh over what Alexia says when she's being vulnerable and opening up. That's the name of this show. That's what the show is about.
Yeah.
And to the Marisol tears, no, she probably did feel the way, but I'm just saying it reminded me for a quick moment how all season we've had to deal with these other girls on the other side of the couch being like, oh gosh, Alexia was mean to me. She was so mean to me. And I'm not saying that Adriana was mean to Marisol, but I'm saying what an interesting thing that we've had a full season of essentially what people want to call on Twitter the winning team, which I would never. The Nicole, the Julia, the Gertie.
I wouldn't call that the winning team, but I also wouldn't call Larsa, Alexia, and Marisol the winning team.
Oh, either. I would. Oh, I definitely would.
I wouldn't just because you're a veteran doesn't mean that you're the winning team. I think there is a possibility of a combination of a winning team in there, because if you call them the winning team, you alienate Kiki, who actually has something really good going for her, and she
no,
has
real quick.
So
we're clear. I would say the winning team is Alexia, Marisol, Larsa, and Kiki. That's what I would say. I would say this team that is trying to be formulated on the other side that doesn't even like each other, by the way. They don't like... I already said it. Now I'm redundant, but I'll say it again. At the Fire music video, those girls did not want to sit by each other. It was by necessity. It was by necessity. Oh, and we're leaving Lisa out. Lisa is good because she's like right in the middle,
See, exactly. But I'm saying it's like the winning team, but it's like there's all these moving pieces. Did we talk about Lisa yet? Because I think we talked about everyone, maybe but Lisa. And I think this is a good closing because Lisa really was the driving storyline of this season. We did touch on Lisa based off her comments, but
I gotta
again,
tell you something sad.
what?
You have not talked about Gertie at all. There has been nothing
I didn't talk
that
about
has
Gertie.
no,
I think I
no.
think I commented on her, but I didn't. I commented on her, meaning the fact of like they can eliminate her just because they haven't. She's still finding her place to shine. But you know what? Before we talk about Lisa, let's go ahead and talk about Gertie. I absolutely loved her outfit. She said it was, I believe, 20 or 25 pounds of chains. And I was in complete awe because not only did she take the risk with the look, but she also, because the theme was James Bond, um, she took the look and she really embodied what it is to be the ultimate event planner. Because when you're the ultimate event planner, you want to be the event. And I feel like her look for the reunion was the event. She showed up and gave in perfect alignment with what she presents in her career. She was named, oh my gosh, I forgot the magazine, but she was like top 20 in the world, and then she was like top 100. I'm like, come on, like,
Yeah, no, her dress, she looked wonderful. Her career, I'm loving that. That's great. I love the fact that the family stuff did come more into the present because that was something that maybe her husband, Russell, may have not gotten to talk about. So
mhm,
now it is in the forefront, so she can really work on that. I believe she's talked about like quality over quantity, which is a really
mhm,
fun angle to go and such a
mhm.
luxurious angle to go. That means you've worked your butt off in your career in your
And you
respective field
can,
to get
yeah,
that because not everyone can really do that.
yes,
So there's a lot of really great things about her. She just again sits on the silly side in terms of some of the things she says. You know, one of the things
mhm.
she said, and she wasn't saying it that mean, but let's just like speak on it, and I want to see what your opinion is. Well, for one, there's the aspect of like, well, if I come back next season, it's like, didn't you say that on season 1 to season 2? And remember, the words they all are out there. You know, she was going to bring it season 2, and there's not much bringing that has been brought.
Yeah.
But also God bless her. You know, she is still wonderful. And then you can't really fault this, and this is why like for Larsa just like rolls off her back. Her big booty. Larsa's got a big booty. It rolls off her back,
But
but
does it compare to mine?
oh, you get, yeah, because you said you got the natural, and Larsa also says she got the natural. Larsa says she has the natural, it's the squats.
She said she has a natural, and I was like, I felt like Chrissy Teigen.
Oh, okay, we're gonna get there.
But we
But
can only
one
take
thing
what
that
people
was,
give us.
can I get your opinion?
Tell me.
One of the corny things that Gertie said, and she wasn't that mad about it, so in context, it wasn't that big. Beyond the time that she had stated, but they asked her, so it's not that big of a deal. Rolled off Larsa's back, which is who was the most, the fakest one, and she giggled, and Larsa's the fakest one. It's like, I don't know, Gertie. I don't know if it's Larsa being the fakest one. Larsa's one of the most honest ones on the show. That's the issue there. But anyways, I'll let that go too. What is funny to me is she was being asked again. I can't hold it too much because if you're being asked a question, a lot of, like you say, these blog entertainment reporter types, they frame the question to kind of get something out of you. So the question was like, who were you at BravoCon? Who was the person you were most unhappy with meeting them or whatever, or it didn't work out? And she
Mhm,
was saying how like Kenya was, Kenya Moore is my girl. I
mhm,
love me some Kenya Moore on Atlanta, the queen of the 90s. I mean, come
mhm.
on. And she was saying how like Kenya kind of just sort of dismissed her, or like she was so excited. Gertie was so excited, like it was the first day of school. Oh,
Yeah.
and she was running up to Kenya thinking like, I think she used the word celebrity, which I was like, Gertie, now, girl, you refer to yourself as a celebrity, but okay, okay, we have a problem. And so Gertie gets all excited and goes up to Kenya and felt like they were both celebrities. Mm. Um, and that Kenya, should have received her better. And Kenya was very like, well, who, huh, what? Something of that nature. I don't know how specific it is. It's not what's important. But the fact that Gertie got frustrated by that, like, Why do these people who step into the marketplace feel like every single person, and I know you're not going to agree with me on this, every single person needs to sort of bow down to them? You're a newbie. Earn your keep. Like, nobody cares about you. You stay in the game. Like, do you think Larsa gave a care if anyone cared about her? That's what I'm saying is so cheesy about Gertie, is that you felt like you were upset that Kenya didn't roll out the red carpet. I mean, when we think Kenya Moore, we don't think of Gertie. I said what I said, of
Here you
course.
go.
What do you feel? Because I feel like you're going to be so polarizingly on the opposite side. Am I right?
I'm not entirely on the opposite side, but I think these people forget that they were newbies at one point when it came to the show, and there was a bigger star than them. So you would think that you would want to give more compassion to those people that are coming into the circle and be like, hey, welcome to the, and give them the pointers that you didn't have, to give them the success that maybe they fell on their face a little bit, or they were ridiculed a little bit harsher, to help soften the blow when it comes to Bravo celebrityism, right? And truth be told, nobody was thinking about Kenya Moore before Housewives anyways. Not to say that she didn't do great things.
He tried it. The microphone shall get cut if you ever say some inflammatory.
Nobody was thinking
Kenya
about Kenya
is the
Moore
icon. We will
on the
not. We will
Housewives.
not. You see, you weren't around. You were a little younger than me. You know, Kenya was it, baby. Kenya was it. Anyways, I was just being funny. So I'll take your point. Because again, this is a critique. This is all, or not a critique, but this is to understand different viewpoints. I'm saying generally, Gertie, because nobody rolled out the red carpet for you, toughen up. Like, that's how I feel.
I don't think she wanted anybody to roll out the red carpet, but I think she wanted. And again, they say don't meet your favorite celebrity because it's going to disappoint you. So I think it was just that moment of, oh my gosh, like she's gonna like. I hope she's seen the show. Like, I hope she says, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that your franchise is back. Just any one of those validation things, I think, would have been the world to Gertie. But the fact that it didn't happen, it disappoints me. It disappoints me in knowing that you're gonna be dismissive when you're all part of the same team. Because if you saw Ultimate Girls Trip together, and if they chose Gertie and they chose Kenya Moore to be on Ultimate Girls Trip together, it's gonna be that fake. Hi, oh my gosh, I love your season. So why can't I have that on? Why can't I have that off camera?
Well, you don't know that. You don't know that Kenya would say that. Anyways,
but
this would be a tangent.
That's what they're supposed to do, right? When they open the doors, it's always,
know, but Russell, listen.
How are you? I haven't seen you since yesterday.
I follow what you're putting down. You yourself, you are one of the toughest people, and we work in an industry where it is challenging. If you walk into a room, you're not going to be salty if somebody don't, I'm meeting this talent or whatever. We're both on the same show, but I kind of thought
right.
we'd rock out together. Russell's not going to call ring, and call, hey Russell, what's up? And then you're not gonna be like, oh gosh, Mario Lopez didn't really pay me no mind. I thought because we were both Latino, we would be in it. Like, you're not going to do that. You're a grown-up.
Yeah.
You got the sophistication within the skill set that you built. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
I get that. I
get what you said too.
I get that.
Back and forth. It would be a tangent, so there's more to that. We'll jump on that another time. But I'm going to go real quickly because we are wrapping the show. And this is the moment I call Larsa Pippen is a reality TV all-star. It is time to talk about the queen. I've got 10 reasons, just things that jumped into my mind why I think Larsa is an all-star at reality TV. Thank you very much. At number 10, Larsa's confidence. In the show here, Adriana says, Larsa, it's not about you. And Larsa says, it's always about me. And that is what I'm talking about. Because she has inner self-confidence. Why does it bother you? I won't explain all these because we don't have a lot of time. Number 9, Larsa was beautiful back then. She's beautiful now. I will not justify it. I will not validate it for anybody. I think she was gorgeous then. She was gorgeous now. The face when she was younger, the face now, the body, I don't care. The girl is beautiful. Kiss my ass if you don't like it. Okay, moving on. Number 8, Larsa's social cachet. which I don't really take too big of a deal, like it's a huge to do or a huge thing. But the social cachet, in my opinion, is what makes some of the other Real Housewives of Miami cast members be so shooketh, because they, are kind of
Not the
like wish,
TH.
huh?
Not
Huh?
the TH.
Let me move on, because again, this is going to be a list where I don't explain it. I just got to go 10 toes down. Moving on to number 7. Larsa has set herself up for either a fantastic podcast or a spinoff, which should be called I Feel Like with Larsa, because every time Larsa talks, she says, I don't know, I feel like I'm just a fun girl. The way you should not have a drinking game if Larsa says the word I feel like, or else you would have an issue.
Or we
Moving
should if
on.
you're in West Hollywood.
There we go. Moving on to number 6. Real Housewives of Miami is more like a Larsa meet and greet than actually Real Housewives of Miami. That one could use work. That could use work. And we are going kind of quick because the show is ending here, but that was funnier when we wrote it. I wrote it. Number 5 of why Larsa is a reality TV all-star, always will be, no matter what. That's just what it is. Larsa's fashion. We got to talk about Larsa's fashion.
That's great fashion.
Body or not, she's going to give body, yaddy, yaddy. And she's connected with so many people. She could give the Miami look. She could give the LA look. She could give the international look. Like, it's all good. All good for Larsa Pippen. Number 4 is Larsa's effortless marketing ability. And her $900 dog collar that she seemed to infuse into that show all the time. So her effortless marketing ability is number 4. Number 3, Larsa as a mother. At the end of the day, she does have 4 kids. One of them's in the NBA. Sophia's out there with Diddy's daughters. They hang out quite a bit. Sophia was also at a Kardashian event recently. So like everything is still all good. And Larsa is, all 4 kids seem to be doing well, and we'll see a lot from each of them. Specifically the one that is a Laker right now.
Yeah.
A Los Angeles Laker. Number 2, just like Pippen and Jordan, she's putting up numbers indicating that she used to have sex 4 times with Scotty. 4 times a night with Scotty for 23 years. So for her sheer willingness to be able to be in the bedroom like that, we must applaud. We must applaud. And the last one is why Larsa Pippen is a reality TV all-star and the queen of Real Housewives of Miami. Larsa Pippen didn't need the Kardashians. The Kardashians needed Larsa Pippen. Oh! And that's true, by the way. That's a fact, by the way. Yeah, Larsa's not bothered, and she never talks bad about them either. Y'all will see one day that Larsa really is all of it. Anyways, I wish I could go on and on about the Queen of Miami, Real Housewives, reality TV all-star Larsa Pippen, but the show is over. Last thoughts on the season, Russell, and then we got to go.
I think the season was explosive. I can't wait for Lisa to have her shining moments with her new tech entrepreneur CEO man. Very supportive there. I can't wait to see what Adriana has coming up with Emilio Estefan.
That's so good.
I want to see that music come to light, because if anybody knows me, they know that I was raised on Gloria Estefan in the kitchen. If I'm cooking, most likely Gloria Estefan's going to be playing. So anything that Emilio produces is gold. So there's that. I really hope that Kiki I really hope that Kiki keeps growing into herself and keeps having her little one-offs and her comedical timing amazing. I hope they keep highlighting that. I hope Gertie finds her place in coming into one with handling reality stardom and really just dialing it back a little bit, because we know you're excited, but it translated a little more hyper on camera than you need. You don't need it. You're good enough how you are. Like, no need to push it further than what it is. Like, just naturally be you. It'll be all right. And for the rest of the girls, I hope they figure out their issues amongst each other, because at the end of the day, you're representing all of us who are brown, and we want this to continue for as long as possible. And we want to support you all the way. And we don't want to have to be critical. So don't do things that tear each other down. Use next season to build each other up. And that's all I got to say on that.
It's a fantastic cast. It is a melting pot, like Gertie said. And at the end of the day, we say this all the time, just so you know, in terms of where we come from things and have opinions, strong opinions. Really, to put yourself on camera and to be in such a big show, it takes a lot of guts. So shout out to each and every one of them. Nicole for being a fantastic anesthesiologist and having a wonderful husband that we call Dr. Anthony, and the child and the big, beautiful home and all the stuff. Julia, everything with Martina is lovely. We want to see so much more of that. Adriana making amends with Alexia seems exciting. Finding some love and the stuff with the music. I would love to see all of that next season. Every single one of these cast members could potentially come back. Gertie's beautiful. Let's move on. Lisa, I'm excited to see where she goes in terms of opening up her love life and all that stuff. Larsa, icon. There's not much else to say. Alexia, though she goes a little too far, maybe something within the growth within her husband and her and Todd, and maybe not always being Mama Bear, and really taking a look in the mirror and saying, okay, these are some things I need to work on, because while I love her, she does go a little hard. But that's what we love about her too. Marisol, continue to bring the cockies. Stop worrying about, or don't worry, not that she worries. Don't worry about anybody who says, oh, she's too trying to brand her this or that. Yeah, that's smart. That's what smart is. She was a luxury PR chick. That's what smart is. Go ahead, Marisol. We love you and we miss Mama Elsa. And Kiki, come to play. Come step up into the game, because we are ready to see it. She is gorgeous. Kate Casey, the reality TV podcast superstar, tweeted this, and I'll never not hear it or not see it. She said Kiki should be the host of a rebooted House of Style, like the show that MTV used to do.
I would love that.
I mean, perfection. And the credit is Casey was the one who posted that, and now I can never not see it.
Yes.
So when I see Kiki, I instantly think House of Style at this point. Or if I'm not thinking of House of Style, I think of All right, that's the end of the show. Russell, thank you for getting through the season. I will talk to you next time.
All right.
Hey, Ronnie Jr.